Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. What about then? So when you came to Overwatch, as you said, this was one of the ultimate games to get people in the door because if people notice, Blizzard's approach almost was like some endemic esports people are allowed, but really we just want all these sports owners and tech people. And listen, you could just tell like some of them were people like Bobby Kotick and the other Activision Blizzard guys. Like they were basically creating a league to get these guys through the door. Mm-hmm. So when you say you were picking between this and League of Legends, like were you not put off by like, for example, the very high buy-in? I mean, even to this day, one of the highest buy-ins ever. Was this not off-putting to you?
It's very off-putting. Yeah. Well, if I had, the league was not franchising then, but even if I thought that they were going to, which we'd all heard rumors they would, I don't know if we would have been invited, right? Because we had just got booted. True. So they liked us, like we were good stewards of the league and we were marketing and we spent time, but we didn't have our act together. We weren't a good org. I mean, when Hector came over here from Optic, he was like, "Oh my God, you guys have like your act together." And I was like, "We do," like, 'cause you never think you do when it's yours. And we, the last year for us has been just amazingly competitive, successful. And then, from a fan base standpoint, but back then it was like, we can do one thing and this was our team. And we didn't even know when we were like signing up that we were going to lose our whole team because all the contracts, like all of a sudden Siegel was a free agent,
Yes.
Like, okay. Yeah. So much for that theory. I thought it was a joke. I thought the price was a joke. I still think it was too expensive. I still think, Call of Duty is too expensive. I think They're all too expensive. Like if you want people to absorb losses for a period of time, then the buy-in price and the payment terms is just onerous. It's hard, right? And in Overwatch League, we've been the most successful team by a long shot. I mean, it's the thing I'm most proud of, really, in besides surviving and actually starting to build a nice brand that people like, is I feel like this. Arguably, I think the Shock's the most successful team in the history of Overwatch. And we built a great model and we continue to win and we continue to add pieces and we lose that guy right there behind me, Sinatra, sure. And we get better, right? And we sell off Architect and we pull in Twilight and the team gets better. And it's a great model for everything that we do. And I love it. I love the game. But it's got its headwinds, that's for sure. And viewership is much harder on YouTube, and it's going to be a while. So if you're assuming that everyone's getting into these leagues and they got tons of money, it's not the case. And it's like a marriage; it's a partnership, right? There's 20 of us in Overwatch League. There's only 12 teams, and it's way easier. And they're basically all North American for all intents and purposes in Call of Duty League, and you can make decisions and have conversations. But in Overwatch League, we have 4 Chinese teams, which have very different realities than we do.
Sure.
The game is incredibly popular there. The viewership numbers are massive there compared to North America. We have Korea, where it all began. We have 2 European teams. We have a ton of, so it's like, it's hard. It's a hard partnership. People have different goals. And like you said, you have these giant sports orgs in there who, for some of them, it's a hobby. For some of them, they're trying. For others, not much. And then you've got the endemics, guys like me and Ben Spoon every day, banging on Blizzard and Activision, trying to move the ball forward because we're living it.
When it came, one of the reasons I wasn't surprised also that the Overwatch League model was set up to be appealing to the outside orgs is the reason they wanted traditional sports orgs is another part of the business model was this idea that you'd bid for which franchise you wanted. Like the obvious example being Robert Kraft would want the Boston one because of the New England Patriots. Like it makes sense with his business. And if you sell him on the idea this is going to become a stadium thing, and in the future you're going to have your regional sponsors, I mean, he's going to think, oh, I've got that market sold up already. So I get that angle, right? Being more of an endemic guy, was there a reason you picked San Francisco? I mean, you're from Massachusetts. Did you not want to go for that Boston one?
I live in San Francisco, so that was it. Mark lives there. Here was the deal. You could not – the only exception I think they've ever made is that Hector and I got Chicago, and we're not in Chicago because optics, it's, Hector living there and the fact that the whole Midwest are pretty much Huntsman fans now. But you needed to show that you have strong ties to the local market, an ability to market to the market, hold events, and then – create a fan base in that market. So people who owned arenas, people who were event organizers, people who were relatively well known in those markets. So everyone had to sort of be in their home market. That was the theory.